Fast forward to just 2 months ago, when a delightful twist unfolded in my life. My boyfriend decided to take our relationship to the next level. In a heartwarming and unexpected turn of events, he proposed to me, marking the beginning of a new and hopefully more serene chapter in our journey together. It was the happiest day of my life, and I posted our engagement pictures with my new ring to my social media. My friends started congratulating me, and I guess some of our mutual friends might have informed Samantha as well. She called me multiple times in the middle of the night, and when I picked up, thinking she might have called to congratulate me, she instead started yelling at me that I couldn't marry my fiancé. I was taken aback by her words. She continued to yell, saying that I needed to break up with him as I couldn't have a happy ending after choosing him over her. My fiancé, who was sleeping next to me, woke up groggily asking me what happened. I put her on speaker so he could hear how crazy she sounded. She continued saying how my fiancé was a piece of shit and that she was going to destroy his life for what he did to our friendship. Fed up with Samantha's angry rant, I had enough. I told her she was going too far, and I hung up, feeling irritated and not willing to put up with more of her drama. The next morning, I woke up to a bunch of angry messages from Samantha, all about how she would wreck our wedding. Feeling a bit uneasy, I decided to call Kyle. He shared that she had been acting super agitated since the previous night, but he had no clue why. I spilled the beans about my engagement and filled him in on what Samantha had yelled at me over the phone. I even sent him screenshots of her furious messages. After checking them out, Kyle finally said, "This is why she's been so worked up since last night." Perplexed, I asked him what he meant. He explained how she spent the night drinking by herself, mumbling about having to do something, but he had no idea until now that it was connected to our conversation. Worried about her threats, I told him I couldn't take them lightly, considering her history, and there was a good chance she might show up at my wedding to cause trouble. This is when Kyle revealed that for the past few months, he had been secretly meeting with his lawyer and moving his assets or signing them off to his parents. He wanted to divorce Samantha, but before that, he needed to be ready since she would definitely play dirty to get her hands on his money. Even though there was a chance that she might never win any alimony, she had cheated on him and he had proof, he still didn't want to take any chances. This is why these last 4 months, he had been rearranging his assets, waiting for the right opportunity to officially divorce her. He told me that if Samantha wanted to show up at my wedding and make a scene, then he wanted to teach her a lesson by handing in the divorce papers to her. I was a bit uncomfortable at first with this, but my boyfriend, who had been overhearing our conversation, readily agreed with Kyle. The plan would only be set in motion if Samantha showed up to our wedding to create a ruckus. Last week, we finally had our small wedding at the church. It was a cozy gathering with close friends and family, and we felt really happy exchanging our vows. During the ceremony, I kept a lookout, kinda expecting Samantha to appear and cause trouble as she threatened. The worry was still there, but Kyle was ready. He had the divorce papers just in case she decided to show up and create a scene. As the priest asked if anyone had objections to our union, a voice cut through the moment, revealing that she indeed had a problem. We looked back in shock, and to my shock, it was Samantha. She was standing in the middle of the aisle, and clearly, she wasn't about to let our wedding proceed smoothly. The joy and excitement quickly turned into a tense and awkward silence as all eyes turned to her. Samantha started accusing Van, right there in front of everyone, that he was the father of the child that she was carrying. We looked at her shocked, and I couldn't believe how ridiculous her lies were. She continued to yell that she was pregnant with his child and she couldn't let him get married to me. Every one of the guests, including our parents, looked at us in shock. The atmosphere went from pure joy to complete chaos in seconds. My dad looked at me quizzically, trying to get confirmation from me. I closed my eyes in exasperation as I knew what was about to happen next. Samantha looked at me and smirked, knowing that she had successfully embarrassed us. Before Samantha could utter another word, Kyle got up from his seat. She looked stumped seeing him suddenly, perhaps not expecting to see him among the guests. He approached Samantha with a calm yet stern expression on his face, clutching a small envelope in his hand. The tension in the room was palpable, and everyone watched as Kyle handed her the envelope. Samantha looked bewildered, not fully comprehending what was happening. With precision, Kyle declared, "Samantha, you are the biggest liar and cheater I have known in my life, and you have left me with no choice now. I think it's time you know that I have been preparing to divorce you these last few months for the multiple affairs that you have had. Here are the divorce papers." The room hushed as Samantha opened the envelope, revealing the divorce papers. The realization hit her like a ton of bricks. Her plan to disrupt the wedding had backfired spectacularly. Kyle, maintaining his composure, started to explain to everyone present that he couldn't tolerate her lies and manipulations any longer, and that she had been unfaithful in their marriage. He also announced to everyone that Samantha had a tendency to lie, and because she had a grudge against me and Van, she had decided to show up and interrupt our wedding. My husband and I exchanged glances, relieved that Kyle had been there to reveal the truth. Samantha, now facing the consequences of her actions, seemed stunned. The guests, initially shocked by her accusation, whispered among themselves. Van took this chance to ask everyone to remain seated and then asked Kyle to escort Samantha out, who stood there looking embarrassed. Kyle nodded and took her out while the ceremony proceeded as planned. As you can guess, even though our wedding went well, all our guests did was talk about Samantha. Some had even taken videos of the incident, and I have seen some of them on various friends' chat groups. I feel a bit bad about Samantha, but I guess she got what she deserved. Everyone is as shocked as I am that Samantha could go so low by accusing my husband of being the father of her child. Since the incident, she has tried to call me multiple times unsuccessfully. From the messages she has sent me, I can see that she blames me for her divorce and not warning her about it. Ida,